Tarot reading and moon. Leo rising, Leo sun, and your moon reading. Let's take a look at Leo. Hello, Brad. Let's take a look at Leo. What you got going on? Here we go. The Hierophant, Page of Swords, Ten of Coins, Ace of Cups, and the Magician. You got a handful of major cards here, Leo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 major cards. So, in the grand scheme of things, the minor and the major cards mean big moves versus small moves. The day-to-day, truncated and a little less intense. I wouldn't even say these are intense, but they're big energy. We have the Hierophant first. Let's just go over the majors, okay? So that you can understand what I'm seeing here. Usually when I do a general spread, a card will pop. And I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Let's hone in on that. And that's kind of how channeling happens. They're like keystones. So we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is our card for doing what is right. Usually this is our moral code. And sometimes, like in ancient days, this was the Pope. This was the individual that gave you the spiritual law that we obeyed. And it was rules. It was what you had to do. You don't go out on Sundays, or you don't eat meat on Fridays. These were the rules, regulations, code, the things that were used to keep us in alignment, right? Now, sometimes nowadays, Brad, you and I both know that these are our programs. These are the moral code, and some of us rewrite them so that we can have that to honor. But this is something that's triggered within you right now. You have black and white with the Ten of Coins, so you're trying to be exact with things, weighing and measuring a little bit. You're coming from love with the Ace of Cups, and then we have the Magician. Hi, Ashley. So we have the Magician here, where this is about action, speaking out, expertise as well, because this goes with the Ace of Wands, as I was talking to Leo about. Sorry, Cancer. So this one here has the Mercury symbol on it, right? The spirituality here. So communication is key with this one. You also have the Temperance card, Sagittarius, balance. How do I be balanced within this? A little bit self-reflection here. Then we have the Emperor for action. We have the Hangman for waiting. And we have the Empress. So emperors and empresses both, how do I nurture myself? And then how do I take action outwardly in order to remain balanced? Kings and queens rule together. Emperors and empresses tend to find themselves solitary. But when we have, well, I would say alpha and betas, right? We have somebody who's very alpha here. So Leo, of course, Leo's got to be alpha. We have all of this Emperor in here. Now, excuse me. What I would say is that Leo's feeling a little backed into a corner, a little frustrated at some things, indicated here by the Page of Swords. So swords is communication. I would say some of you, I've got throat chakra issues listening to myself talk about this sign. So are you having a hard time evoking, speaking to, articulating certain things that are going on with others, or speaking your mind? You're black and white here, so are you trying to be more exact? We also have a little conflict, feeling backed into a corner, and miscommunication. This is where I say this is your reminder that we're in the heat of Mercury retrograde right now. What is Mercury retrograde? It's a period of time where things feel wonky. Communication gets sideways. You know, things come up from the past. I call Mercury the great revealer. At times, it is not easy. It's the boot camp. It's the thing where the unexpected occurs, whether it's with your vehicle, your electronics, your communication, or your exes. But what happens is, if you've been watching my social media, I said the other day, heal it or kill it. It comes up over and over again for it to be worked upon. And in working on it, you can either heal that past energy, right? Like, I'm going to heal it. There's an opportunity to. They came back up. I want to be like, we're done. Or I want to be like, can we just be loving to this and let it be, right? So, or kill it off, where you realize that the multiple times it comes up, it's not healing, so you cut it off and you extend yourself elsewhere so that you're not wasting energy on something that isn't for your benefit or for growth. But I do see that one of the things that's conflicting for you right now is things are moving really quickly. You have the Eight of Cups. But let's talk about this. So I'm a hope dealer, right? I'm not one that's doom and gloom. You'll absolutely never hear me say this is gonna suck, or get ready, pull your pants up, get your boots on, your shit kickers, get ready. Because what's true is there's balance in all things, and it's all just perspective, right? So you'll never catch me talking about the doom and gloom. I will talk about difficulty. Like right now, I think personally that Leo's putting themselves up against the wall, and it's all goes back to this moral code. So who's the one that's holding you to this standard but you? So, and I think it's excellent. The more of us hold the line a little higher and be like, no, you got to rise up to meet me, the more people will have better behavior, right? There used to be a day where people didn't spit on the sidewalk because someone would be like, hey. And nowadays, it's just so crazy, right? So we have the moral code here. So you're weighing and measuring yourself. Two things. One, don't be so hard on yourself. No one else knows this standard that you have. And sometimes showing up imperfect on your worst day can be better than some on their best, because they're not putting this much self-evaluation into the decisions that they make. So show up. Just show up. Like your worst day, showing up is still a win. So give yourself that. I'm not sure what it is that's going on with you in regards to this feeling the heat, but you do have the Three of Wands, as if you're feeling watched, or as if you feel that you're going to be exposed, or that others can see. Sometimes this is gossip or others talking around you. Doesn't necessarily mean about you, but you don't want to be the subject matter next, so you're kind of keeping a little quiet. And that's where we're coming in with the Hangman, right? Hello. I can't help it. I'm getting a little distracted by my hummingbird. Hi, baby. I put him a little one on the window here so he can visit me while I'm eating, or eat while I'm working. He's visiting. I get so geeked out about that. Sorry, distracted. So we have the Hangman. So the question about the Hangman is sometimes that's a fallow phase, where it's like things aren't moving, or, you know, a seed has an opportunity to grow, is in the silent phases, in the darkness, in the dirt, in privacy. So with the Hierophant, and with the Hanged Man, I kind of feel as if you're kind of working in private. You don't want an audience for some of these things, but you're thinking things, that's for sure. And you're starting to make a plan. So let's take a look at the moon reading for your moods. Where are your moods at? So my astrology instructor explained sun, moon, and rising beautifully, where the sun sign is your plot line. Think of Love Story. And then you change the plot line and put it in a different setting. You can have Romeo and Juliet setting for your moon, or the Titanic, that's your setting. So if you look at the moon sign less than as your emotions, but as your setting, or a combination of both, it might be a little easier for you to play with that and get more out of it. All right. Leo moon. Emperor comes out first, so that's action. Are you expecting a lot from yourself, or taking action in the next steps? You've got the Hangman again. So you've got the Hangman in the exact same position in this moon reading that you had in your general. I love stuff like that. Kind of geeks me out. I think it's fun. But anyways, so the Hangman is a delay. Now, keep in mind, this back row is your come from, and then the rest of the cards are where you're going. So you have the Emperor. You've already made a decision in your head. You've already taken action, or said to yourself, this is the action that I'm going to take. You've got the Six of Wands, which is beautiful because it tells us you're going to get some recognition, right? It's like, wow, I really see you've lost all this weight. Like, it'll be something that people notice or recognize. The World card, the Two of Swords, and the Hangman. So what that tells me is you're likely reserving a launch date, or you're likely reserving the actual steps for others to see for a certain period in time. You have the Death card too for transformation. So you're making a huge change in your life right now. And honestly, I can just say that whatever this is that you're walking away from, like, you're still fence sitting a little bit, because you're just, am I doing the right thing? You're asking, right? But you have the Tower card in here, which tells us that things have already kind of shaken up a little bit. I see the Star card, keep your boundaries up. You've got this Seven of Wands. So you've got strong boundaries, trust yourself. You've got the High Priestess right here at the end of the reading. And then you have the Chariot card for intensity. Like, I think you're aware that this stage is going to require a lot from you. However, you've got the Nine of Pentacles, positive attention. The Hangman, let things take their time. Don't force anything. Like I said, we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde. We have another week or so before this clears. So if you're feeling off a little bit, hold the line, y'all. And this one ain't been easy. That's all I have to say. Is I have clients and people call me all the time where they're just like, dude, this is rough. And if it is, be graceful, forgive yourself, give a little bit more, take some space. I am seeing the Hangman. Maybe that space is needed, right? We need a little solitude. We need a little privacy. But there is this fresh new look here of like walking away from stuff. We see new beginnings in regards to your money, etc. So one of the things that I will mention is, hello, Stephanie. I was just talking about you. So we have the Six of Swords here, which is things getting easier. So keep going. And this card is about support as well. So when you're rowing a boat across the river or the lake, it's hard. But if someone does it for you, it's easy. This person's doing the work for you. So if you can just release, trust a little bit, and flow, I kind of feel like you're going to have all of this support. Now, the very center of your moon reading is the Star card, which indicates hope. That's Sagittarius, right? Hope, faith, balance as well. I'm a hope dealer. You know this. So the focus, the center of your reading is hope. Like you're hoping for better. And sometimes digging out of an old pattern is difficult, especially when we've been doing something for a really long time. I'm not sure this is patterns or habits, but I definitely see pivot points for Leo right now. Let's take a look at Divination of the Ancients and see what your card is for this week from the Oracle deck. Please visit the website. Take a look at the new products that we put on. It's taken us 2 years to get them in a line. I would love to hear your opinion. What would you keep? What would you give? To book your one-on-one, visit karmaondeck.com and hang out with me on my YouTube. I'd love your company there. Tell me how you feel your reading went. Give me some feedback. And where are you in the world? Sometimes I get interested in where everybody's at. All right, mystical. So listen, we have the Clouds card, or mystical. So what this means is, like, are you losing flavor, or are you feeling as if the day-to-day doesn't have enough magic? This card here is mystical, where it's asking you to start paying attention to your spiritual side. You also have the High Priestess in your moon reading, so your moods are up. So it's a good time for you to start playing with your spirituality and start looking at that and with a fresh new look. Mystical, magical, look for signs, symbols. Trust your intuition implicitly with the High Priestess in play. And hold the line. We've got another week for Mercury retrograde, a couple more days, and then shadow period, and we are out of it. But hey, what a great way to start the new year, by like clearing out whatever is in the way so we can move forward into a nice, beautiful spring and new beginnings. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I will be right back after this to talk to Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or no one,